We've got lots of cattle sales to go through. Crew, let's ranch it up. Good day, everyone, and thanks for riding with us on this all-new episode of the Ranch It Up Radio Show. I'm Jeff Tigger Earhart.
And I'm Rebecca Warner, a.k.a. Beck.
A big thank you goes out to our partners, ranchchannel.com. Check out the markets, by the way. We've got the futures markets for feeder cattle, live cattle, corn, wheat, beans, soybean oil. I think we've even got milk on there, for crying out loud, and ethanol, so check it out on ranchchannel.com. Transova Genetics, Axiota, Multimin, and Lactopro, Stockman's Livestock Exchange, the American Gelbvieh Association, Imogene Ingredients and Pharmatan, Westway Feed Products, Medora Boot and Western Wear, Allied Genetic Resources and Allied Feeding Partners, LivestockMarket.com, EquineMarket.com, AuctionTime.com, RFD TV, Wrangler, and this fine radio station. All right, to get things going, we started a little contest last week, and we decided we're going to give away some Ranch It Up Radio Show swag. And the question that we asked y'all last week was, what was the first state to have cattle in the United States? So congratulations goes out to Sherry from Florida. The answer is Florida. So Sherry, you were the first one to get a hold of us and give us the correct answer. You've got your name and address and phone number. We appreciate that. And Beck has already got your swag is coming to you. So let's go on to contest number 2, shall we? We are going to be giving away, should we do a long sleeve tee this week?
Yes, let's do a long sleeve Ranch It Up shirt this week. They're really nice, by the way.
And you can jump on our website,
ranchitup.us. That's the website to head to check out all of our gear, by the way. You'll be happy to see that there's t-shirts, long sleeve shirts, tank tops. There's even
all kinds of
Florida
cool
cow whips.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Hand-built and braided by our very own Jeff Tigger Earhart.
Yours truly. So we will take the first correct answer, and you can text us at 707-RANCH20. That's 707-726-2420. You can email ranchitupshow@gmail.com, or you can call 707-RANCH20, 707-726-2420. There will be the timestamp on it, so we will know when these answers came in, and we will take the first correct answer.
And remember, when you text, email, however you decide to get a hold of us, make sure you leave your name, your address, so we know where to send said long sleeve shirt, as well as what size you'll need.
Oh, right. And these kind of fit true to size, don't they?
Yes, they're unisex shirts.
And you will love them. They're really lightweight.
Very soft.
Yep, you're going to love them. Okay. We're going to go kind of the history of the beef business, but the beef retail business. Here's the question for you. What was the world's first hamburger chain founded in 1921 in Wichita, Kansas? What was the world's first hamburger chain founded in 1921 in Wichita, Kansas? Give them some sort of clues on this.
Oh, okay. The term sliders comes from this restaurant.
Excellent.
Sliders. And then there was a movie that was all over about 20 years ago. It's Harold and Kumar go to blank
to try to get. Have you ever had one of the sliders?
I have never had one, and the state we live in does not have one of these restaurants, so there cues you in. It is a chain now today, but we don't have one here. We have to go to the frozen aisle section and buy the package of sliders.
But those aren't real. Those aren't like the real thing when you go to the actual fast food establishment, and you gotta order like a dozen of them to fill you up.
So being that we said this location started in Wichita, the next time you take me to Wichita, will you finally take me to this restaurant?
The next time we get close to said restaurant, absolutely, I will take you in.
I'll hold you up on that.
And I'm gonna eat 12 of them. You're gonna eat 12
All right,
of them.
so like we said, if you know what restaurant we are talking about, now's that time to call, text us. The number again is
707-RANCH20. That's 707-726-2420. You can call us or text us at that number, and you can email us at ranchitupshow@gmail.com. Cow Country News, the cow stuff.
Our first story is an update on the avian flu. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, this past weekend confirmed that 4 workers at a poultry farm in northeast Colorado were infected with the highly pathogenic avian influenza, HPAI. The agency confirmed that 4 of the workers who were culling birds after an HPAI outbreak at the commercial egg-laying operation tested positive for HPAI, and a 5th employee is presumed HPAI-positive as the agency waits for samples to be processed. The CDC is investigating whether the workers properly used recommended personal protective equipment, PPE, and will decide whether guidance adjustments to protect poultry farm employees are warranted. Most human cases of HPAI infection involve people who were not wearing recommended PPE when working with infected birds, CDC noted. The agency also is analyzing the virus sequences from the outbreak in order to determine if a change in the risk assessment should be launched. HPAI infections in humans have been confirmed in 3 U.S. states since March. Meanwhile, the USDA has reported that an estimated 152 dairy cattle herds in at least 10 states tested positive for HPAI infection so far this year. On a brighter note, shipments of beef from the United States to foreign markets hit an 11-month high in May in dollar terms, according to the U.S. Meat Export Federation. The value of beef exports was 3% higher than the same month a year ago, and the highest mark since June of 2023. For the first 5 months of 2024, the U.S. beef industry exports were worth $4.29 billion, 5% ahead of the same period in 2023. Calculated per head of fed slaughter, export value in May was $410.94, up 3% from 2023. The U.S. Meat Export Federation said that Japan, Taiwan, and the ASEAN region showed strong demand for U.S. beef in May, as well as Mexico, Guatemala, and the Caribbean. And in other news, the Nebraska Department of Agriculture, July 4th, announced a confirmed case of equine infectious anemia in a horse located in Colfax County, Nebraska. This is the first confirmed case of EIA since 2013 in the state. NDA staff are working with the owner and local veterinarian to monitor potentially exposed horses. The infected horse is currently quarantined and will be released once state regulations are met. Spread by blood-to-blood contact, EIA is an incurable infectious viral disease and can be transmitted from an infected equine to an uninfected equine by blood-feeding insects such as horseflies, deer flies, or stable flies, and by people using contaminated medical equipment such as needles, syringes, and IV sets. There are currently no USDA-approved vaccines for EIA. Equine owners can do a number of things to help protect their animals, and this includes things like implementing insect controls, keeping stables and facilities clean, eliminating standing water, using 1 needle per horse, separating infected equine from the healthy, and never using blood-contaminated medical equipment. Before we go to break, I've got something for y'all, and this one made me smile, and you know what? I might even try it. Smoked brisket topped with vanilla ice cream is trending.
Smoked brisket and vanilla ice cream.
You got it. Yes. Chefs and foodies say it's the perfect blend of sweet, smoky, and savory.
What's the word? Pairing? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
People,
got to have a little
and
panache
get
in there.
this is what I like. People are posting pictures of their brisket topped with 2 or 3 scoops of this vanilla ice cream. Some people are chopping up the brisket and then mixing it with the ice cream. To me, this might sound weird, but at the end of the day, beef is getting eaten. That's the note out of it. That's the takeaway, okay? Is that beef is getting eaten. That chefs, foodies, those people that are influencers on social media, they're using beef in other ways we've never thought about it. So I'm all thumbs up on this idea.
Okay, apparently I can't argue with that at all. I would try it. If you'd make it, I would try it. I'm not much of a brisket smoker. In fact, I don't think I've ever tried it. Well, we don't have a smoker.
Well, but we do have a big brisket sitting in the freezer that needs to be used. And now I think we might just have to use part of it with a little side of ice cream.
I think you brought this up just because you want said side of ice cream.
Brisket a la mode. Time for our first break, crew. Coming up on the Ranch It Up radio show, we recap Superior Livestock's Week in the Rockies sale, along with details on where to purchase Brangus, Beefmaster, Purebred Brahman, Brahman Cross, Brayford Cross, and F1 Brayford breeding cattle. We'll be back right after this.
Have y'all tried LivestockMarket.com? We hear from Mark Vanzi each and every week. Well, LivestockMarket.com, it's the ultimate platform for buying and selling livestock. Now, whether you're in the market for cattle, sheep, goats, or more, try LivestockMarket.com. They connect you with buyers and sellers nationwide. Say goodbye to the traditional and hello to convenience and efficiency. Head to LivestockMarket.com and open up your options. And don't forget about EquineMarket.com and AuctionTime.com. Breeding season is here, and maybe you haven't made all of your decisions yet. Maybe you're fixing to AI some cows or some heifers. Turn to Allied Genetic Resources. Top quality semen from elite bulls. With over 50,000 head marketed annually, turn to Allied Genetic Resources. RanchChannel.com. I know many of you have used it to search for your next herd sires. RanchChannel.com. You used it, you loved it. If you haven't gone to it, you need to. Coming soon, market information. Yep, feeder cattle, live cattle futures, corn, wheat, and beans, updated every 10 minutes at your fingertips. Plus, the additions of products and services, management tips, that information that you've been wanting, and again, all at your fingertips. It's your Farm and Ranch Network on demand, ranchchannel.com. For years now, I've been telling you all about Pharmatan from Imogene Ingredients. Well, it's time to make the change and add Pharmatan to your cow's diet, to your calves' diet. Get that boost in health and increase feed efficiency. It all starts with nutrition, so add Pharmatan. Welcome back to the Ranch It Up radio show, the most information packed into a 30-minute program that you can find. It's your all things ranching newscast, and so glad to be hanging out with y'all. Questions, comments, concerns, criticisms, rants, it doesn't matter. Give us a call or text us at 707-RANCH-20. That's 707-726-2420. Our email, ranchitupshow@gmail.com, and prowling around social media at Ranch It Up Show. Now, before we get into the latest prices from Superior Livestock and their Week in the Rockies sale, I want to tell you about another sale that's coming up August 23rd in Arcadia, Florida at the Arcadia Stockyards. It's the FCA Quality Replacement Heifer Sale presented by Florida Heritage Beef. Now, for the first time, they will be offering first calf heifer pairs. And in addition, all will have the opportunity to win a 4-man duck hunt brought to you by Duck Ranching. I'm not done there yet. All the buyers will have the opportunity to win a $1,000 bull credit from Gene Plus. We all know them for their Brangus and Ultra Black cattle. So mark your calendars for August 23rd. The sale starts at 1 p.m. at the Arcadia Stockyards in Arcadia, Florida, selling Brangus, Beefmaster, Purebred Brahman, Brahman Cross, Brayford, and Brayford Cross, and F1 Brayford cattle. And remember, for the first time, they're going to be offering those first calf heifer pairs. Now, for more information, check them out on Facebook at FCA Quality Replacement Heifer Sale, FCA Quality Replacement Heifer Sale, or you can reach out to Beck and I, and we'll get you pointed in the right direction. And now, recapping Superior Livestock's Week in the Rockies sale that was last week. I'm not going to be able to go through every state and every weight class, but I do have a direct link in our show notes at ranchitupshow.com. You can go there. You can find the region, the state, and the weight class. In fact, you can even click on that price range, and you can see all of the different drafts of cattle within that price range, what they were out of. Are they all-natural cattle? You know, all of the different labels and tags and marketing partnerships that they have on them. So just to give you a little bit of a recap, let's start with Region 1, which is Idaho, Nevada, Oregon, California, and Washington. Let's look at Idaho cattle, the steers first. 5 to 5.5 weight steers, 306 to 349. 5.5 to 6 weight steers, 293 to 317. Again, these are Idaho cattle. 6 to 6.5 weight steers, 281 up to 325. And then 6.5 to 7 weight cattle in Idaho, 271 to 269. Let's look at the heifer mates. 5 to 5.5 weight heifers in Idaho, 276 to 310. 5.5 to 6 weights at 280 to 287. 6 to 6.5 weights at 254 to 283. 6.5 to 7 weight heifers at 262 to 276.5. On to Region 2. This is where the lion's share of the cattle were coming from: Colorado, Wyoming, Montana, Nebraska, North and South Dakota, and Utah. Let's look at Colorado to start out with. 5 to 5.5 weight steers at 303 to 355.5. 5.5 to 6 weights at 279 to 341. 6 to 6.5 weight steers at 274 to 324. Let's move over to Wyoming. 6.5 to 7 weight steers from Wyoming at 289 to 305. 6.5 to 7 weight steers in Montana, 271 to 312. The Dakota cattle at 6.5 to 7 weights, the steers at 283 to 316. Utah cattle, 7 to 7.5 weights at 274 to 275. 7.5 to 8 weight steers in Colorado at 265. Wyoming, that same weight class, 263 to 281. Montana cattle, 7.5 to 8 weights at 258 to 286. Nebraska cattle, 7 to 7.5 weights at 283. For the heifers, Colorado, let's start with the lightweights here. 4 to 4.5 weights, 339 to 348. 4.5 to 5 weight heifers, Colorado, $3 up to 350. 5 to 5.5 weights at 265 to 324. 5.5 to 6 weights at 262 to 322. 5.5 to 6 weight heifers in Wyoming at 280 to 299. 6 to 6.5 weight heifers in Montana, 258 to 282. Some Nebraska heifers, 6.5 up to 7 weights at 275. And then Utah heifers, same weight class, 6.5 up to 7 weights at 259 to 269. On to Region 3. Texas, Oklahoma, New Mexico, Arizona, Louisiana, and Arkansas. Lots of cattle out of Texas and Oklahoma. Starting with Texas on the steers, 4.5 to 5 weights at 301 up to 339. 5 to 5.5 weight steers, 284 to 350. 5.5 to 6 weights at 268 to 326.5. 6 to 6.5 weights at 265 up to 308. In Oklahoma, 4 to 4.5 weight steers, 404. 4.5 to 5 weights at 358 up to $4. 5 to 5.5 weight steers, 355, and then 5.5 to 6 weight steers in Oklahoma at 313 up to 384. On the heifer side, 4 to 4.5 weight heifers, Texas origin at 310. 4.5 to 5 weight heifers at 306 to 319. 5 to 5.5 weight heifers, Texas again, 271 to 358. Oklahoma heifers, 5 to 5.5 weights at 284 to 335. And then 5.5 to 6 weight heifers, Oklahoma at 290. Region 4, Kansas, Missouri, Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Illinois. A big showing from Kansas cattle. On the steer side, 4 to 4.5 weights at 406. 4.5 to 5 weights at 358 to 384. 5 to 5.5 weights at 324 to 346. 5.5 to 6 weight steers in Kansas at 313 to 351. Missouri steers, 6 to 6.5 weights at 310 to 317. 6.5 to 7 weight steers out of Missouri at 289. 7 to 7.5 weight steers at 264 to 284. And then some Iowa steers, 7.5 to 8 weights at 264.50. Again, I am just cherry plucking these out of here. We have all the information and the direct links available in the show notes at ranchitupshow.com. Going on to the heifers from Kansas, 4.5 to 5 weights at 316. 5 to 5.5 weight heifers at 299 to 320. 5.5 to 6 weights at 284 to 301. 6 to 6.5 weight heifers at 268 to 292. And that, friends, is just a quick snapshot of what happened last week at Superior Livestock's Week in the Rockies sale. Now, I would highly recommend head to ranchitupshow.com. I've got the link there in the show notes. You can click on any particular weight class. You can look at those cattle, any particular region, any particular price range. You can see the drafts. You can see how they're bred. You can see their vaccination records, all that information to help gauge on how you may need to market those calves. It's break time. We'll be back.
Cattle market reports to various news stories. The Tri-State Livestock News covers it all. Check us out at tsln.com. Subscriptions or advertising, call Tracy Hawk at 406-951-3211. The Tri-State Livestock News, what ranchers read.
Gelbvieh and Balancer producers, seed stock and commercial, add genetic technology from the American Gelbvieh Association. They provide genetic tools to both seed stock and commercial producers. From being a part of the world's largest genetic evaluation and providing some of the most accurate EPDs in the industry to offering a wide variety of DNA tests, the AGA delivers its members and customers tools for success within the beef industry. Head to gelbvieh.org for more information from the American Gelbvieh Association. Want to add just a little bit of spice to your event, your customer appreciation supper, your banquet, your meeting?
Oh, yeah.
Well, bring in us, Beck and I, as your keynote speakers, hosts, MCs, a host couple. We'll make them laugh, even cry tears of joy. Call us today. Looking for the best way to raise healthy, productive beef? Try Westway Feed Products. Westway's liquid supplements boost forage utilization, efficiency, and sustainability, ensuring faster weight gain and better health. Visit westwayfeed.com or call 800-800-7517. Westway Feed Products, raising the bar in beef production. A lot of you have been using ranchchannel.com to select your new herd sires. Well, coming soon, feeder and live cattle markets, corn, wheat, and bean futures, all at ranchchannel.com. And don't forget, lots of upcoming sales. Just head to ranchchannel.com. Welcome back, everyone, to the Ranch It Up radio show. It is that time in the program. We check in with Kirk Donsbach, StoneX Financial Incorporated, recapping the markets of last week, kind of find out what's going on. So, Kirk, what's going on?
Well, good morning, Tigger, and all your listeners out there. As of Friday, July 12th, August feeders closed the week at 258.75. That's down 2.5 on the week, with the CME feeder index up 596 at 261.04. You did hear that right. The futures went down 250. Cash went up 596. That swung our basis a negative number to a positive 239 versus August feeder futures. Futures appear to be undervalued if cash remains at this level. August live cattle closed the week at 182.55. That's down 375 on the week, with cash trading 188 to 191 in the south and 190 to 198 in the north, a very wide range in the north. Late Friday had mostly 198s in the north. That left the 5-area weighted average down $1.26 at 194.11, and the basis versus August live futures a positive $11.73.5, a very wide basis. Weekly slaughter was 601,000 head. That's up 81,000 head over last week's holiday shortened week, and 32,000 head less than the same week last year. Choice boxes closed the week down 837 at 322.03. December corn closed the week at 416.25. That's down 8 cents on the week. Corn had a bearish WASDE report with lowering ending stocks on increased demand, but increased 2024 production on more acreage.
What if the constraints we complain about are secretly our advantages? Hey, I'm Shay, and I'm the host of the Casual Cattle Conversations podcast. During my recent conversation with Allie Fender, we discussed how sometimes what can be viewed as disadvantages in the beef industry are actually advantages, especially size and location of your operation. Here's a highlight of our conversation. Do you feel like your location in San Diego County helped or hurt you more as you were getting started?
Honestly, I feel like it helps because people, especially now after COVID happened and everything, people really want to know where their food comes from, and they really want to know the face behind agriculture. So when we first started, I started kind of diving into social media a little bit, and that kind of exposed who we were as ranchers, that we're kind of like a historical ranch in the county. And people really wanted to learn more about us, about our family, and about our beef. And that kind of like led into a way that I can advocate for the beef industry on both, the meat side and the cattle side. And that has helped us tremendously in business too. So I would say like 98% of our audience is really excited to know us, excited to learn from us, even being from the beach and never seeing a cow in real life before, but they can kind of live through that through social media.
Listen to the full story by searching for Casual Cattle Conversations on your favorite podcast player. Happy ranching, folks.
I tip my hat to you, from one legend to another.
Now, before we say fare thee well, we want to give a big old tip of the hat. Yes, it's haying season, but we are giving a tip of the hat to those lucky folks that are on their second, third, fourth cutting of hay.
You know, a lot of people, they're happy with one. We are in that country where if we get one decent one, we're happy.
We are doing cartwheels out in the hayfield.
And I know we have gotten messages from friends all over the country, and they will razz us and say, oh, look at here, we're on our fourth one.
I know. I've got some friends that have said, oh, we've already cut, raked, stacked, and they're moved home.
And did everything. But yeah, be safe out there regardless if it's your first cutting or your fifth. And now that's going to wrap it up for today. A big thanks to all of our guests that we had this weekend. Shay Warner with Casual Cattle Conversations, Kirk Donsbach with StoneX Financial Incorporated, and the boss lady, Rebecca Warner, a.k.a. Beck. That's you, by the way.
A big thank you to our partners, ranchchannel.com, Transova Genetics, Axiota, Multimin, and LactiPro, Stockman's Livestock Exchange, the American Galvy Association, Imogene Ingredients, Pharmatan, Westway Feed Products, Medora Boot and Western Wear, Allied Genetic Resources, Allied Feeding Partners, LivestockMarket.com, EquineMarket.com, AuctionTime.com, RFD TV, Wrangler, and this fine radio station.
And crew, so glad y'all came with us one more time as we ranch it up. Be sure to like and follow us on Facebook at Ranch It Up Show. Our email is ranchitupshow@gmail.com. You can call and you can text 24/7 at 707-RANCH20. That's 707-726-2420. Spread the good word and join us again next week where it's always Tigger and Beck approved.
Stay ranchy and ranch it up.